But I decided to go on a walk this morning because we got weather coming in. Tomorrow they're predicting an inch of rain, so I may not get out. Trying my new lens I bought cheaply, got it the other day. It's been working great so far, but I need to invest probably a neutral density filter. Here today I'm shooting in just HD at 30 frames per second, and so what that means, I'm shooting 60th of a second shutter, and then I gotta increase my f-stop up to between f22 and f16, which is 2 stop down. But I want to get a neutral density filter so I can open that lens up a little bit. But I'm just trying to save space by shooting at a lower frame rate. The quality won't be as good, but that's not what this video is about. You can see my fence I've got to repair down there. I think the swather got stuck and it must have swung around and hit my fence post there and tore some wires. So that's on my agenda. And what I want to talk about is my second car that I got. I did the video on my first car, which was a 65 Galaxy. I just love this tall grass this time of year. I've had such a wet fall that it's growing real well. You got the beautiful skies up there, those clouds. You get those kind of clouds when it changes to the north. Maybe the wind's a little bit from the east right now. Anyway, back to my second car. It was a 73 Ford Ranchero. It was blue with just a 302 V8 in it. Not a powerhouse. I remember we was car shopping in South Broadway in Wichita with my brother, and we saw this, so we stopped in. They wanted like $1,900 for it, or might have been $1,800, which we thought that was kind of high at the time. This is in like 1981, 82. Yeah, so I thought that was kind of high for that car, but it ain't come down in price either. But I ended up buying it. The only thing wrong with it cosmetically, really, the dash had a crack in it, and they said, oh, they have a guy that comes by and can repair those. So they did. I don't know, it wasn't the best job, but it looked better than it did. I wanted something a little more reliable than my Galaxy, and that car did provide it. I just kept it stock. The old 302, we knew it was a good engine. My parents had a 72 Torino with a 302. Had well over 100,000 miles. And this one, I think, had 125,000 miles on it. There's those beautiful grasses again, popping up. Yeah, the thing was pretty reliable. It had aluminum wheels. I ended up putting some bigger rear wheels on it and tires. Mechanically, the only thing I did, I complained when the front would hit a bump on a country road. It would seem that the front fenders wanted to vibrate a little bit. And what was weird, same basic car my folks had was that 72 Trino. It didn't exhibit that at all. I couldn't figure out why that was doing that. I even put on some different body mounts up there, and that may have helped it a little bit. But probably what you get into on some of those is the resonant frequency of the body against the frame. And it was just probably designed a little differently than the sedan. And that was a disappointment. It had that little fender wobble when you hit a bump. So I thought it ought to be just steel. I even tried to mount it solid up there between the body and the frame. The problem you get into when you brake real heavily seemed to put the steering in just a little bit of bind. So that didn't last very long. Always ran good. Did use a little bit of oil. I don't remember how much. Perhaps a quart every 600 miles or 1,000. 1,000 wouldn't be bad. 600's using a little bit. But it didn't smoke or anything. I know I was kind of surprised. The 0 to 60 times was like 12 and a half seconds. I thought, oh man, that's as good as some of the new, at the time, 302 engines in some of the sedans. So I didn't think it did too bad. But that 302 with just a 2-barrel kind of sounded like it was screaming doing that. Didn't like the higher RPMs, I guess, which is a little 2-barrel. Had just a little bit of rust in the bed where there were some like spot welds around the wheel well. I've only got a few pictures of it. That's kind of a shame. I just didn't take pictures back then like I do today. My cousin and I went to Medicine Lodge for the peace pageant. Peace treaty pageant they had up there. And I was driving back. It was about 100 miles up there. Things started misfiring. A new set of spark plug wires cured that. I was mentioning the front fenders wobbling. I did replace the lower ball joints, which I was working at a tractor dealership at the time. And we had some guys that worked at an alignment shop that we worked on their tractors for them. So I got their ideas on how to change those ball joints, which were pressed in to the lower control arm. We didn't have any experience with those. Said, they just used an impact hammer, pound around the ball joint, and you're able to remove them and replace them that way. I don't remember exactly how we did it, but I was able to replace them without any special tool. Like now I've got a big C-clamp to do that sort of work. It's not a fun job, no matter what tools you have, though. Looks like Fred Burns got some cattle back into the pasture here. Been sitting empty all fall. Well, summer and fall. I thought they was going to bale the brome off of it, but they didn't. I like how they pulled this out of the ditch and just left it here on the other side of the ditch. Really, the side of the road, it's not even in the ditch. Just lovely grasses. Of course, the old hedge balls. Yesterday when I was coming through there, I heard one drop. Sounded like someone fell out of a tree. Well, I must have kept that Ranchero about 2 years. I ended up selling it privately to a guy in Newton. Not sure what happened to it after that. I wanted a little sportier car again. So I got a 76 Cobra 2. That car wasn't that great a car though. The reason I'm doing these videos so I can get it down some kind of writing or tape or whatever. Well, we don't use tape anymore, of course, for prosperity, something like that. Some of my sons know what I had and what the problems were with them. Now we're coming up to the big mud puddle. At least I can get around it now, so I can extend my walk. Yeah, these tracks down here must be 1.5 feet deep. Oh, they even got this. Looks like a tree stump here, or a branch or limb they dug along here. It looks like they're kind of digging away some of the smaller trees here recently. See how this big old clod, it's about 1 foot diameter. This makes a royal mess when people come through here. With the pond there on the other side filled up. Yeah, here's another. So you can see how big it is compared to my foot there, about 1 foot diameter. Just a problem. Yeah, this pond now extends for quite a distance here. You can hear the truck traffic in the background. It's Highway 50 about 1/4 mile away. I always like to turn around at this pasture drive here. If you continue going into the pasture here to the left, it goes into a low water bridge into the pasture behind the tree bank there. Real beautiful spot. Only problem is you got the Highway 50 traffic noise. Another problem with that drive is people come off of Highway 50 there, come into the drive here, and they go to the bathroom there. Sometimes they'll leave toilet paper and diapers. Got some beautiful cottonwoods here. See glistening leaves. That blue sky is beautiful. Yeah, using this little Fulaim X5 wireless mic, make it a little easier. I don't have a pocket on this shirt, so the other mic was a little bit harder to attach. This one has a magnet behind it to attach to any shirt you want. Beautiful walk, just have a long sleeve shirt on. It's probably approaching 60 degrees now. Got down to possibly 40s last night. Got the cottonwood leaves. Plane running overhead. Birds singing. And Highway 50 in the background. Sold my nifty 50 EF50 this morning to a guy, young kid it appears. Got a whopping $35 for it. Figured I didn't need it since I bought this lens. I've got a EF50 f2.5 macro, which is a lot better lens. But that lens is heavier. It's excellent sharpness for close-ups. Been using that for all my film copying the last couple years here. Nothing wrong with that lens, but for video usage it still has the same limitations. Slow focus, noisy, and focus breathing. Yeah, see, this just all of a sudden drops off here. But someone in the last day or two has gone through here and cleared some of these trees out. I can easily walk by them now. I know I've seen the Harvey County Water Department truck drive by. Like I said, they're still putting fiber optic in this area. Still digging the tubing and pushing it into the ground. It's exposed a lot of places on my left I've got to deal with. I'll just talk to the fiber optic guys. They're pulling rope through on the east side of the road here. Said the company fired the company that put the fiber optic on the right side of the road, and they didn't know that there was already a cable there on the right side. He's pulling the old kind of a nylon rope through that line right now. He's going to give me a bunch of it, drop it off at the end of my driveway because he didn't want to throw it away. He thought guys could use it. Just kind of a nylon flat rope. Beautiful skies here with a cold front coming through. I just remembered another thing about my 73 Ranchero. Well, I wanted to put a 351 Cleveland engine in it in place of that 302, and supposedly the 2-barrel version was the one to get because the smaller ports worked better on the street. So I found a 351, and man, it was off in remote part of Wichita there. We had to drag it up onto the back of a pickup by hand. Just totally ridiculous. But I got her home, tore it apart, and I think I ported the heads and found a 4-barrel intake for it. Did all that. And then I decided to sell the car instead of putting that engine in it. And the guy who bought that block, or the engine, took the block to the machine shop and claimed there was a crack in the block. I don't know. He tried to show us the crack. And I had the block. Well, I think I took it to where I worked and gave it to a guy just to use as a weight back of a vehicle for winter. But I tried to find the crack in that block. Now, I can't say that I really did ever see it, but he demanded money back for that block. So I got kind of screwed on that engine if it indeed had a crack. I think I gave him $100 back or something like that. The kitties are playing there, but we never did tame the little yellow kittens, so they're so skittish. The others, the Tom and the mother, are so friendly.